Manchester is known for its damp and drizzle, and if you've lived here a while, well, let's just say you'll be familiar with a heavy-duty umbrella. But is this wet weather a sign of something more sinister? Dan Specht is Reader in Cultural Geography and Communication at the University of Westminster.
It's important to understand that what we're seeing in Manchester in this particular case isn't just about total rainfall, but it's about the distribution of rainfall. So it's about that redistribution of weather patterns rather than there being a complete increase. And this is something that's very directly linked to climate change. The idea is that a warmer atmosphere can hold more moisture.
Last week, Manchester was hit with an amber weather warning where it was reported we would receive a month's worth of rain in just a day.
This isn't just about the additional rain in those moments, but it's also that the infrastructure was designed for rain that would come in a more distributed and more spread out way.
So how is this weather affecting the area?
And we see then the immediate impacts on transportation, trams and roads get blocked and those kinds of things. But there's also an impact there on mental health. Research shows that communities hit by flooding suffer from long-term anxiety, particularly around other times where it rains. So there's a whole sort of long tail of things that happen around flooding that's not just about that immediate physical effect.
Should we be worried?
I think worried is probably the wrong word. I think we need to be prepared. We're entering an era of what used to be a once-in-a-century kind of storm now happening every few years.
For Keys News, I'm Lily Holt. You're walking home after a night out. It's dark, it's cold, you've had a really good time. Suddenly, you're in the water. This is an all too common tragedy. You may be a confident swimmer, but no one is immune to hypothermia. 193 people accidentally drowned in the UK in 2024, and in the last 5 years, Manchester firefighters have responded to 66 accidental drowning deaths in the region's rivers, canals and quays. Whilst local authorities have installed safety barriers and railings, as well as improved lighting and grab rails, there are still major safety risks for those who use the waterways paths in the winter. Jim Bridge is the Water Safety Development Officer for the Greater Manchester Water Safety Strategic Partnership.
In that scenario, you go factories, warehouses, towns, cities.
The Black Country accent, my accent, has largely kept traits from its roots in Middle English. Whilst most assume we're Brummies, the Yam Yams still hold a fierce sense of pride for who we are and where we're from. The Black Country Living Museum works to preserve the history of our region and is known worldwide for its immersive style. I spoke to a member of the organisation about why this preservation is so important.
I'm Matthew Kaup. I am the Head of Collections and Interpretation here at the Black Country Living Museum. Real lives, real people is our mantra, and its language and dialect is an important part of that. With every dialect, every regional dialect, and this is across the nation, there's variations, and that can be down to a very granular level. That can be street variations. It can be borough variations. Someone in Walsall won't necessarily have used the same phrasing as someone in Dudley. And I think that's a kind of a unique aspect of it. But it's also a huge challenge, because how do you then articulate what is core Black Country dialect and language? I think it's part of the lives of the people that we represent and the stories that we represent. We get we get different feedback from our audiences. I think there's a certain portion that would really love us to be totally accurate in terms of kind of our the way all our characters speak and vocabulary used and things like that. And I don't think that's necessarily the right way to go, particularly for an audience-led organisation where we have to kind of cater to a variety of different backgrounds and people coming with different things. But I think it's preserving language is part of social history, is part of social life.
Quick Einuck and Iloy joke. Penny look holds back. Einuck is in the boozer 100 in a time with Iloy. He's there. Einuck says, I do feel bad. And I says, you look it and it's abject.
We as an organisation do a lot of work with oral histories. So we contact or are contacted by people who have stories to tell. And we sit down, and our researchers, our collections team and our programming team will sit down with those people and have interviews. And often they come from a wide spectrum of areas in the Black Country, different socioeconomic groups, different cultural heritages. This organisation has one of the best banks of oral histories I've ever worked with. And within that, you see the range of language that's used and the kind of the different influences, and it just demonstrates kind of what a melting pot the Black Country is, because people have come from all over the world, like not just on a national scale through the Industrial Revolution, but all over the world since the 60s and 70s to this place to work in industry, services, all that sort of stuff. And they've built lives and they've amended language in that way. So it's a crucial part.
For most who don't know the area or the Black Country Museum, you'll probably be familiar with one of our most recent and most famous exploits.
But the main thing is, you bunch of fuckers, despite the provocation from the cavalry, no fighting. Oi! No fighting. No fucking fighting. No fighting. No fucking fighting!
The Peaky Blinders. I spoke to Matthew about the impact the Shelbys have had on the museum and the understanding of how our accent is perceived.
They're associated with us. That story and that narrative and that kind of cultural construct of the Peaky Blinders is associated with us because obviously they film at the Black Country Living Museum, so we have some of the iconic sets. And I think, we really play into that, and I think it's a really great driver in terms of for a heritage organisation. Those sorts of hooks are priceless. I think what you'll find with the Peaky Blinders, I guess, cultural path they go down, they do a similar thing to what we do in terms of it's a lightened touch of it. So there'll be phrases and keywords and some inflection with the accent, but it won't be hard Black Country, or won't be hard like, Digbeth is where the Peaky Blinders were sort of based. So it won't be hard sort of South Birmingham. There is a sort of a cheery Black Country sort of feeling towards the language as well. There is something quite fun. I think there has been some negative connotations around the language and the accent, but I think that's kind of dying away, and it's seen as kind of trustworthy and fun, and I think people quite enjoy it.
But how important is this accent of ours in the immersive nature at the Black Country Museum?
The type of museum we're not a sort of a traditional museum in the sense that you go into as your stately home or a massive building like the V&A, and you're walking around galleries with showcases and objects behind glass and things like that. You are immersed. The moment you step on site, you should feel like you are in the late 1800s in a colliery, and then you walk through and you get to kind of our 60s, 40s to 60s Newtown, then you go 30s back to the 1900s, and then the boat dock. So everything about it is trying to immerse you in it. So even as a visitor, and you're speaking, and you're probably from Dudley or you're from Wolverhampton or Sandwell or anywhere like that, you're bringing your own sounds onto site as well, and then you're hearing the sounds, and then incidental things outside of language like chains being smashed and furnaces roaring. It's all part of that immersion.
So whether I'm from the Black Country or not, the history of our language remains relevant, not only on the cobbled streets at the Black Country Museum, but across our entire region. Eastern Gardens, relaxing, tranquil and calm. But not for the Trafford Centre. The brand new Eastern Gardens food court has officially launched this week, and it is busy. Featuring loads of independent restaurants, the multi-million-pound food pavilion offers a range of East Asian-inspired and street food eateries. I trekked down there to get a feel for the new space. I'm here in the brand new Eastern Gardens food court at the Trafford Centre, and when I tell you it is busy, it is busy. To say it is only a Wednesday night, there are so many people here. These restaurants are looking packed, and I've got to be honest, they're looking good. The event area actually opened up in December, but it was officially launched last week, featuring all new and all local restaurants. The space reopened to the public just before Christmas and has a vast pink cherry blossom canopy stretching across the ceiling. Some of the restaurants available include Nietzsche, a Japanese Peruvian restaurant with an exciting space for DJs and live music performances every weekend. But I spoke to AJ Sharma, the general manager from True Street, a Pan-Asian street food joint, who spoke to me about the effects they felt from this new development.
The footfall gone really big. Compared, like when we compare our sales compared to last year and before, it's gone 30% up this year. And every day we are seeing new sales figures every time. So it's quite busy now.
AJ also spoke of the Trafford Centre's draw to people visiting the region from across the country.
Basically, Trafford Centre is a place like people come from all over the country, especially on holidays. It's not only the Manchester, because a lot of customers, we came all the way from Stoke-on-Trent, we came from Leeds, Bury, so a lot of different places people come in. Yeah, it's not only the just Manchester people come here. And the main thing is the parking is free. That's the main thing. If you go to city centre, you got Arndale Centre there, you need to pay for it. Here it's they got around 23,000 car park around the Trafford Centre, free car park. Just recently they started the premium parking that is next to Selfridges, but that is only limited for around like 60 cars only.
And I had to ask him about the best thing on their menu.
That will be our most best seller will be Atlanta chicken. That is the best thing. Every day we sell more than 300 portions.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it is one of the best things we are doing.
Tell me a little bit about it, what goes into the Atlanta chicken.
So Atlanta chicken is it's a chicken thigh. We marinate that chicken in the buttermilk for 24 hours. Then we got 24 spices. We coat it in that and we do deep fried. So we got honey penny pressure cooker. We cooked inside and it's come with curly fries, and that is also salt and pepper.
Customers have been responding well to the new space and seem excited about having a broader range of food options.
I think it's a really good idea. It will bring a lot more people in, definitely. Makes it a lot busier. A lot of food options, they all look very nice.
So next time you're in the Trafford Centre, take a culinary journey around the world. For Keys News, I'm Lily Holt.